As we've been discussing, reflexive leadership is about a clarity of understanding so we can be available to others. It's about being open to new ideas and connecting those ideas to our vision. Reflexive leadership is a development of an unconscious or reflexive competency that is reflected in our interactions and is used effortlessly in all situations. It's about being right minded and blending our mind and our heart to lead. In addition to understanding, it is just about knowing the right things to say and do. Competency. The application to skills, knowledge, and ability to a specific situation. The four stages of competency is not a new idea. However, applying a fifth stage, one that is not merely filed away in our unconscious and by nature may become antiquated and perhaps difficult to retrieve in specific situations, but a new competency, one that is reflexive and used with the clarity of understanding. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the four stages of competency. The first stage is unconscious competency, or simply put, you don't know what you don't know. This is always explained as the most dangerous of levels because if you're at this level, your competence far exceeds your abilities. Think about a teenager who just got their license. In Florida, you can drive when you're 15. That's right. They have absolutely no clue and don't even know it. No wonder you have to take out a second mortgage to put a teenager on your insurance. I am making the assumption that no one in this room is at this level. However, our school may have staff or other community members who are unconsciously incompetent in some area. Reflexive leaders know they must be available and make them aware of how much they need to learn and why those skills are important and necessary to further the mission of the school, success for all students. At this level, patience is a good virtue to possess. However, persistence and determination while providing resources and support becomes the most enduring qualities to move these community members to subsequent levels. The next level is conscious incompetency. Here you know that you don't know. I have known some school administrators that were stuck here, and you might have some staff members in your community at this level as well. At this level, you're aware of not knowing or having the skills, but are unwilling or unable to acquire either. This stage is punctuated with phrases like, I give up, or I've tried everything, but if it weren't for the Because at this level there is an admission of not knowing something or having the competency to deal with a situation or interaction, community members can become frustrated with their inability to facilitate the necessary action. This can lead to defensiveness and blame. Now, if at this level, you will see the blaming of others or circumstances for the lack of competency. However, at this level, reflexes leaders use a clarity of thinking and employ what I like to call legacy thinking. Legacy thinking is the blending of what we have to do with our vision or what we want to do. Remember we discussed not having enough time in the day to do everything we have to? It seems each day, just as we think we've finished everything we have to do, another wave of mandates, requirements, and procedures rain down upon us from somewhere up above. We know what we want to do, what types of schools we want to create, our vision for success for all students, but unfortunately, it becomes easy to blame all the outside distractors from keeping us from attending to our vision legacy. I sadly feel at times many school districts become entrenched at this level of learning with no conception of how to progress further. So here they remain defending the undefendable, all the while frustrated and defensive, consciously knowing that the situation should be better, but not knowing how to proceed. Just this past September, I had a very lengthy conversation with a head of a non-public school special education placement and services for the entire school district in Florida. Some parents had asked me if I could find out what was taking so long for their child to get services. They were felt they were given the runaround. And every time they called, they were told something different. One parent even told me that she was told if the district ran out of money, they weren't going to get services anyway. So they would just have to wait. You can imagine the negative perception and comments these parents had about the process and, by default, the person in charge. I sent an email to that person that was in charge who was who had become a professional acquaintance of mine over the past 3 years. I asked if it would be at all possible to give the parents a better understanding of the process and a realistic time frame for when they could expect services to begin. That way, everybody could have a win-win solution. To her credit, the head of that department called me personally and started to explain to me district policy for IEPs, how some of the public schools in her charge were inattentive to her request for records, her lack of staffing, staff pushing back at being asked to work too hard, lack of support, couple of parts of state and federal law, what she did and didn't have to do, and if they, meaning the parents, were that upset and wanted it, they should have stayed in public schools. With all honesty, the beginning of this conversation severely tested my reflexes leadership philosophy. I was able to validate what she was saying and ask the why questions. Each one met with another layer of blame. I then tried to reach her through legacy thinking. I asked her, with the perfect case scenario, what our conversation would look like. She said, with a perfect case scenario, we wouldn't be having a conversation at all. So, your legacy would be, I asked her, that every student would receive services. Of course, and more, she replied. So, what if you focused on your legacy and what you could do to make that happen, instead of just focusing on what's keeping you from not letting it happen? Easier said than done, was her reply. I agreed, but with a little bit of creativity and open-mindedness to some new ideas, it might still be able to be done. I honestly don't think I changed her mind or her perceptions, although 4 of the students I called about were scheduled for ISPs the following week. But hopefully I gave her something that when she's ready, she will start to think about it.